welcome back to my channel and welcome to what I'm going to refer to as probably the start of a purge, a declutter. I'm definitely starting to notice I'm pulling things aside that I'm not using, things that are kind of getting in my way. I've got, I think, an empty in here, maybe only one at the moment, but there's a lot of palettes in here, face palettes and eyeshadow palettes that are just really hogging up space that I'm not reaching for. Some things I have had for a long time, some things are newer to my collection, and that's where I'm just kind of having that moment of like, should I already declutter it if I've only done like a first impressions or just a wear test or two with it? But I am really having drawer overload. Do you guys ever kind of start to get really flustered when you try to go in to find either a new makeup piece that you're excited for or just see where your makeup day is going to take you and you're like, I'm so excited to get into these drawers and play with makeup. But then you're like, I can't find things. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I'm so sick of that. So that's where I'm at the moment. Living small, that tends to happen about this time of year anyway, because I don't have a lot of storage. And now, compared to last few years, I'm getting even more boxy charms. I've been doing more shopping. I've been getting more PR sent to me, which I'm all so grateful for. But I also need to be selective because I don't have a lot of storage compared to most people on this platform. So a lot of you guys tell me you love when I get really raw with you when it comes to like going through my makeup collection, and I'm like, I think I need to do a purge, a declutter, and really just be honest about where my thoughts are with certain things. So if you are interested in that, grab your tea, grab your snack, grab your water, get comfy because I have a lot, well, a good bag's worth to go through with you, and I think this is the first probably of many this season. Cheers! As I said, I've got quite a bag here of things that, honestly, some things have gone even through a few declutter rounds, and I've held on to specific things being like, oh, let me try it in this season, let me try it that way, if this is on my radar kind of thing, but some things I'm also just kind of like, all right, I'm on overload and I'm over it. You know what I mean? So let's start with, where do I go first? I've got a lot of eyeshadow palettes, a lot of face palettes, some individual pieces. I do have an empty for you if you did happen to miss one of my last videos that I talked about how I was going on a little shopping spree in September. Again, kind of aiding into the reason that I need to do some more declutters on things that are either empty or used up or not serving their purpose for me anymore. I loved the $1 Billion Brows pencil that I got from a boxy charm. Even though she says, she claims she's in taupe, she could go with these dark brown hues that I got going on my face. Used her up, got another in the BoxyCharm add-ons like the same day. It was crazy the way that I literally ran out, got the notification of the add-ons, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can buy another one. Amazing. So this is an empty body for me, and I've already replaced it. So that is kind of like leading into being like, oh, so this isn't all just doom and gloom in this video. No, there are certain things that I love, and I was so glad I was able to get another one, so now I can get rid of the body of this one. We're getting into the haunting season. I can say things like that now, right? Some things I've kept through certain declutters, and some things I'm just kind of like, yeah, but I didn't reach for you in the seasons that I thought I would, and I have a lot of competition in this tiny beauty space these days. Specifically, what I'm thinking of this moment is something I've had in my collection for a long time. That would be the Pure Festival palette. I recently, was it this year or last year, decluttered the volume 2 because I was like, that one's not as speaking to me as much, but this one I'll hang on to. However, the thing is I should have reached for this by now, I feel like, and I have not. I hate when I do this part in the video where I'm like, oh, let me just touch it and show it to you. That's what makes me keep something because I'm like, oh yeah, I just kind of maybe forgot. But there's a lot of neutrals in here, right? With some pops of color and some glitters. Well, I'm not exactly reaching for glitters and really haven't for a while. If you can hear Cooper snorting, you know how he does. He likes to do his little snore while he naps. Definitely not reaching for these pink and purple tones right now. But also, I was always like, this is the thing that had me loving this palette originally, were all the neutrals. And it does smell really nice. I keep forgetting, it smells really nice. However, when I got this palette, that was before my cup started running over on more neutral palettes that either I've purchased or I've gotten from BoxyCharm that just keep adding up, and they're really great formulas. All of us can't shut up about the Dominique Cosmetics Neutrals palette. Wait, Transitions palette? Transitions palette. This is so good. So is my Viseart palette. So is my ColourPop palette. And I was like, oh yeah, Color Story is very similar in a lot of the things I was just talking about. Now the finishes in here are pretty nice, but I just don't know if I need this anymore. To be flat out honest, my eyeshadow palette drawer is a beast to close. Because I've gotten so many great things, but it's getting harder and harder. So I've got to be more selective and maybe just start weeding out the things I've had for a while that I'm not going into. And this Ciate London I Am Woman palette that a lot of us got from BoxyCharm has some similar metallic shades as this one. Yeah, I got my fingers in it already. This is my detriment usually. So they're not exact dupes by any means. Also, there's this little baby that we know I fell in love with. And now I've got swatches on my fingers to just start doing the work. Like in my Wander Beauty palette that we know I love, the Getaway palette, like these two shimmers kind of look like the top two shimmers in this palette. Ooh, and these do not feel as soft as they once did, but you know, these are pretty old now. I don't plan on swatching this whole thing. Ooh, where'd that one even go? Okay, you're making it easier for me to declutter you, Pure. Oh, golly. Okay, maybe finally see it. And I don't need exact dupes by any means, because like I said, I'm not even reaching for it lately. So much creamier. I mean, those just went on like a dream. This one's also from the Pure palette. Yeah, she's not just performing anymore. So that makes it a little easier to let myself off the hook and feel less guilty about decluttering her. And that's just this tiny little palette. That's not even all the other things that I could be swatching against it. But like I said, if I did that, I would be filming here for years and years with all of these things that I'm about to go through. But I won't lie. Kind of makes a girl feel better when she's like, oh, this looks really similar. Let me compare you. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's actually really close in tone to what I had in the Pure palette, and she actually went on first application. So, c'est la vie. It is time to let this baby go. She's had a good run though. Decluttering is so hard sometimes, right? We feel like we have to justify it. All right, so this one's newer to my collection, you guys. Okay, so I've heard that some of these other palettes from this brand are great, and this one just wasn't cutting the mustard, but it's so new to my collection. And am I even gonna... Also, I haven't reviewed it yet in my BoxyCharm quarterly reviews yet. Ooh. This is the Laura Geller palette that I really recently received. This is a very neutral tone that I thought was going to be perfect for, darn it, this time of year. We've got some gray purple hues, and then we've got some more actual purple hues and deeper, richer tones. This is a light, cool palette. Ooh, she's got a lot of fallout. Oh my gosh, my entire desk is covered with her corpse. We're not even to Halloween yet, guys, and I got the October jokes rolling. The thing is, too, I have a girlfriend who has one of her palettes that she loves, but when I sent her photos of midday wear with this palette, she was like, oh my gosh, it's creasing, it's fading down, it's not doing a very good job. So maybe I will hang on to this for one more round of try-ons because I haven't gotten to use it that much since it's newer to my collection from Boxy. I still need to review it potentially in the quarterly reviews if she makes it there. But I could see myself using this maybe for my Halloween special. Every year, if you don't know, if you happen to be newer here, I do a full face of things that are kind of questionable from BoxyCharm throughout the year. So maybe I'll save this for that video to really give it another go because we've had some surprises in there before. It's been great. And 'tis the season for these colors too. So stay tuned, be subscribed. This one is on the chopping block, so we'll see. This rich shade here that I was not expecting because I hadn't used it yet really is coming to play, and there's some of these other shades that they swatch well. That's just it. Swatches are different than what plays on the eyes and what lasts on the eyes, so we'll see. I don't want to poo on Laura Geller because there are things from her that I have really enjoyed. I got this in a more recent subscription box. I believe it was the Chic subscription box. I received this in that box, and it's okay. That's all right. It's just not something that I've really been loving. And this right here is Glittertastrophe, which for this oily skin, big pored gal is not something that is going to be very good. So I was like, okay, we'll use it on the eyes. This one actually looks pretty creamy and pretty nice. This is the one that was more the standout than this one, because this one added so much texture to my face. This one's really pretty though. But I also know thyself, I bought a ton of Becca this year because I knew she was going away. It was hard to say Becca. And I also almost went into BoxyCharm because I see so many buzz starting with BoxyCharm, but I was meaning Becca. But I bought so much Becca this year, like so much Becca. I also have some other highlighters that I've gotten from BoxyCharm, but it's like the Natasha Denona, it's the Laura Mercier, it's all of those things that I love. So those are really eating up the space in my drawers, but I love it. And it's not something I want to compromise to be like, oh, I'll move you to storage for this. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we got to get down to the wire. Let's just do a little here with the finger. I do have a little bit on my cheeks, but not a lot. So I'm just kind of doing the topper. Oh, that does look pretty though, doesn't it? As a highlighter lover, I probably, well, shouldn't have done this because now I'm just going to be sitting here staring at it going, oh, that looks smooth. Oh, that's not grabbing to texture. Just don't use half of this palette because look how pretty this is. And again, golden tones, we're moving into the fall time frames, you know what I mean? So, oh, just half of this palette I can't use. And I can already hear some people in the comments, just pop it out, put it in a Z palette. I've said that a long time, like, I'll just take apart whatever palette I'm referring to and use just the part I like. I never end up doing it. Well, I have done it actually. I take that back. I have done that with like some of the butter bronzers back in the day, and then they fall off my radar because they're not in their smaller compact where I can get to them easily because those palettes get bigger and they go move to the bottom of the drawers. This may be in an upcoming video with this to see how do we feel about it. Because right now I'm not mad at how that gold looks. And Laura Geller, like I said, is a really good brand. I do like Laura Geller. It's just half of it's glittery and texturizing, and I'm not going to use it. Ugh, the struggle. This is why decluttering is so hard. And this one's not going to be hard to declutter, though. So let's get into it. This is something I purchased. There's a few things in here that Nichole went out, spent her dollars on. Some of it inexpensive, so it's a little less of a burn or a rub. But then there's something else in here that made me fall for the marketing hype of the moment, and I'm not one to fall into that a lot, so taking that one on the chin, I think. But first, let's talk about the drugstore one that really wasn't too pricey, but it just does not perform the way I hoped she would. This particular one here is the Pixi Beauty bronzer in the shade Summertime. I liked the idea of this because I happen to enjoy a particular shimmery bronzer that makes my face look blurred, juicy, golden goddess glows all year round. And it works well on the body, works well on the face. And I thought maybe you are a drugstore dupe because Pixi is not that inexpensive, even though you do find it in like Targets and drugstores and things like that. It's not very inexpensive though, but she's not it. She was not it for me. Anytime I tried to put this on my face, no matter how light of a hand I tried to take it on the front parts, it just like sunk into my pores. It made my face look like craters no matter what I did, no matter how many of my amazing powders I used. It will never compare to my Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil. I've talked about this a lot, but even in the pan, it doesn't even look appetizing. It looks rough, right? It looks textured. It doesn't look that great, but look at how much pan is on it because I love it. It's one of the things I have on my face today that is helping to blur my pores. It's helping to make everything look smooth, sun-tanned, and just like an easy breezy, no, you could even do this for a no makeup day, but even on like a more minimal makeup day, like I actually have a decent amount of makeup on, but this helps it to just look so natural. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing natural about this. It just made everything look illuminated in a bad way and really emphasized texture, really did. So I was kind of waiting for a declutter video, I feel like, for this, but I did keep trying it through the summer. Now we're into fall. The reason I was trying this was because I was looking for a backup for this and I couldn't find it. A lot of times in the stores or online, they weren't selling this. They were only selling like the mini version or their matte version. So I finally have a backup of this, so I don't need to keep trying to make this work. This is gone for me. So this next palette is a face palette. This is something I got from BoxyCharm, and it's such a new product to me and a new video to me. That's why I'm just like, should I try this again in the same video that I'm going to be doing with these for like a Halloween? Like, is this a big no? And maybe that's going to be a new pile for me. Piles in this small beauty space are really hard to organize, but maybe I'm going to keep all of these things together for an upcoming Halloween special. Guys, you warned me. You warned me. You told me this was not good because of the brand, and you've had experience with it. This is the Cab Contour Palette. Mine is in volume 1. It just isn't doing it. If you're wanting a full deep dive review, check out my last BoxyCharm video. Literally the last BoxyCharm video I just did. I hate feeling like I should declutter something I literally just got. But compared to the things that I really love, the color story isn't here for me. I like a little bit more of a cool gray tone for certain types of contouring. If I'm going to do a contour, and this is a contour palette, there's not a lot of variety in here. I do still need to try the banana shade. I guess I've not done that. But these two contours, they're bronzer, deeper shades, are really red toned. This one's really orange toned. This only works somewhat okay, but it fades, it disappears on me. It ghosted my eye looks and my face looks. I've just never had a good makeup day after I've used it, you know, because sometimes you can look at yourself and you'd be like, okay, this is a good makeup day, even if it's a minimal makeup day, even if there's no glam, no glitz, no lashes, you're still like, oh, I still like my makeup today. I've yet to experience that when I use this palette. So do you think I should put this in my Halloween special video? Let me know. Let me know, because it's so big and bulky too. It takes up a lot of real estate. And if you've seen my beauty tour room, my tiny house beauty tour, I use Alex drawers, and I only have so much room for makeup. And this is a lot of real estate for something that is not worth 60 bucks that it claims to be, I'll tell you that. Also, have you guys ever figured out how to use this product from Tarte? This is the Tarte A Glow. I was kind of hoping this would be like, I don't know, a replacement for my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, but it just seems to be more like a liquidy highlighter type. Some people have said they've liked using it under their eyes before they've put on foundations and concealers maybe, because it brightens for them. I have yet to experience something like that. Ugh, this is definitely, if it weren't for the fact that I have my Halloween special this month, I would probably be getting rid of all of this. But all these kits did come from BoxyCharm, so maybe you're just getting a sneak peek at these last few things here, because I could see the reflective properties. Like, that looks like it should work great, right? Well, I don't have 20-year-old skin. I'm in my mid-30s, and I do have some lines and some, you know, things that dips and valleys on my face with pores that I could not make this work well, and it didn't do for me what I was, I guess, thinking the Becca Brightening Under Eye Corrector could do. But how do you like to use this? Because unless I hear something good from you guys in the comments below, this is getting decluttered hardcore. This is, should I put this in my Halloween special? Gosh. See all of this on my face at once. That's when you know it's gonna be a nightmare of a video. But fun to watch. Okay, this, I just have to let this one go. And I kind of just fell into the hype of the whole time. A lot of us did. I don't have room for this palette, honestly, and I don't reach for it. Literally, as fall came around, I opened this palette up. I even had supporting palettes that I really enjoy next to it, and I tried to reach into this, and I just couldn't find a good color story for it. I couldn't find that piece that was going to be like its saving grace for me. Like, oh, I love it for this shade or that shade or this combination or this look. Even if I could get one note look out of it that I really love to do, but I don't. And this is the Conspiracy palette. I know a lot of people have either already decluttered something like this, or they love, you know, the packaging, whatever they love about it. This is only about the palette, not the person behind it at the moment, because I know that person in general is very controversial. Actually, this was a hard one to get because I still have the mini palette of this that I actually have used quite a bit. But this palette, I thought I'd get a lot of use out of. But I have found this particular formula, it doesn't do it for me. I still have the mini Controversy, and this is the one that I found that I used a lot when I got it. I got this one first, but it has much more approachable Nichole shades, obviously, because we've got some neutrals in here. We've got the pops of blue, some purples. This is something that I have reached for, even if it's just an assist palette. This is something I've gotten full looks from, assist palettes. So this one, it doesn't bother me as much also because it's bite size. This guy, lot of room, like all the way up to this peak, a lot of room. I know a lot of people like to showcase stuff, but I don't have a space for that. And one of the main shades that I used a lot was Diet Root Beer. I have that in the mini palette here. I really thought maybe I would use some of these bold, bright, vibrant shades. I don't really, and I have them in other palettes that are much easier to grab for. I don't really reach for a lot of these vibrant pink looks either, and I have these in other palettes, close to at least. I really wanted to love a lot of this palette. Like I rubbed off even the imprint on the Just a Theory shade, but this is a shade it's pretty easy to replicate with other things, and it's, you know, it is nude, but that's kind of the look we've been going for. A lot of these other shades haven't really loved as much as I thought I would, and I've definitely dipped into all of these shades. Like all of them have rubbed off at least the top layer of the imprint, because there's imprints on all of these pans here. As you can kind of see, the lighting sometimes washes it out. It's very much, it's got a lot of fallout, as you might be able to see there as I'm just trying to do a swatch. There's a lot of fallout in this no matter what, which can usually mean, you know, it's got a lot of pigmentation to it. But I have a struggle getting a cohesive look with this that I really just want to pull out on the regular. It's a lot of deep tones too, which is why I was like, oh, fall's here. Now I can pull this out and make myself decide, am I keeping this or not? I couldn't figure out a way to use it that I would consistently love to. It's a lot of darkness. It's something I really struggle with when I'm looking at the layout, the color story. What multiple looks could I get from this? What single looks? And I know I could look on Instagram and things like that. And I know some people love this and it's one of their holy grail palettes. For me, I think it's not something that speaks to me the way I like to do makeup, and it doesn't really inspire a lot of different eye looks like I had really hoped it would. So this is big and bulky. I spent my own dollars on it, and I think it's just kind of time to leave my beauty space. Honestly, swatching that one made it easier for me to get rid of it, whereas other ones, sometimes it's a lot harder, because as I'm still looking here at this row, I'm like, I'm still struggling just looking at it going, I don't do a lot of dark smoky looks. I don't do a lot of deep dark shades. But I also know that when I was doing them with this, like there's some fallout on the face, a lot of cleanup to do, and then it kind of falls still through a bit through the day, at least for me. The more neutral tones it has in this palette, I have in this one, so I'm not really losing all of those shades either. The ranch shade was really unique, I feel like, because it was this nice opaque white that's got some reflective properties in it, and I liked it a lot for that for a long time. But now I don't find myself reaching for that because it's kind of like a neutral phase that we're into, so I'm already doing a lot of neutral looks that I don't need that. And I definitely have some whites in other palettes as well. So I think this is time to move along out of my beauty space. And guys, I don't think this declutter series is going to be done. This is almost like the appetizer, because this is like a short consumable video, and usually these take a really long time for me, but I kind of knew going in where my head was going to be at with this, because I'm already kind of pulling things aside as I'm getting more and more in from my own shopping and Boxy, and this year I'm just kind of like, okay, now we can pare down the stuff that we're not using. And this may even be on the chopping block, because fall and the winter season intends to be when I pull out some of these things. But if I'm not using this by maybe spring, this one could go next. I forgot about the second bag that I actually had down here, so let me tell you a bit more. Alright guys, I just don't love this formula, so I'm getting rid of not only something that I got from Boxy, but also something that I think I purchased on my own, I think. These are the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. These are too matte. These are too rough on the lips. They're nothing like one of my favorite formulas from Ofra. I have the shade Pure Hollywood that I think I got, and then I also have the shade from Boxy that was Malt that a lot of you guys wanted to see me try on, so I did try it on for you. I've even tried these together. It's just not my favorite formula. I mean, color stories aside, because fall could be a time that I would pull these out, the formula, ugh, I don't like how it feels. And if I don't like how you feel, I'm not going to reach for you. I'm not going to use you. And just told you guys, I got a lot of nude lippies in my Ulta 21 Day Sale purchases, and this is like the Ofra nude set. I love these. These are so comfortable. I don't even need a gloss. These, I have to have something, and even then, I don't like how it always looks. I don't like how the finish looks. I like these better. So these are out, these are in. I bought this in the beginning of summer, and this was my bad. I tried it, so you didn't have to, and now I don't recommend it. We can do SPF on our face in other ways. This is the Make It Last Milani setting spray. It has an SPF of 30 in it. The smell is just too much for me, and then the stickiness and the way my face looks shiny in a non-glowy way, just more of like a oily way. This does not work for your oily skinned friend here, so she gots to go. It doesn't work for me. I tried it through the summer, the season that I needed her most, and now we know. Now we're more educated. Didn't work for me. I'm also gonna really quickly say, I'm gonna declutter this Ilamusca Bullet Lippy. This one here, it's actually a pretty shade, so you may be like, but why? This is in the shade Cosmic. The formula is really like waxy tough, and anytime I've tried to use it, I have to really get in there. The color's kind of pretty. It's a little bit more of a pink tone than I usually gravitate to, but I didn't mind that. I actually used this quite a bit for like over a year, I think. She's just not aging very well, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done with her, and then it tends to get a little messy. So I'm just gonna say I got a lot of lipsticks, bullets, and liquid lipsticks, so this one is just not my favorite formula, so I'm gonna get rid of this now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you happen to be new to my loud, weird, crazy, unique channel, hi new friends, I really hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all of this amazing content I am telling you is coming for you. Bye friends!